In this video, I wanted to cover 3 of the most insane matches that I found in the replays of the World Championship Series 2024 for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel that occurred over September 7th and 8th, 2024. In this matchup, we have Team 7, the eventual champions, going up against a season point winner, Double Noir. And Team 7 ended up 8-1ing them. Their only match that they won was KG going up against Jesse Kotton, and this is the match we're going to take a look at. How did Jesse lose when the rest of the team absolutely swept through the field, getting to those 5 points, which automatically gave them 3 wins against them in the third set here. Let's go ahead and jump into KG's match to find out how he beat Jesse Kotton. This one is pretty insane in my opinion, and is my first selection in one of the most insane matches from that weekend, and you'll see why. If you have Superheavy Samurai, would you opt to build your deck this way? Let's go ahead and jump straight in. Fantastic production value in the game here. I think Konami did a great job with setting up this World Championship in Master Duel. So we're going to start off seeing KG opt to go first. The hand trap checks for Jesse here. No Ash, no Max C. Well, he would Max C after the summon of the Superheavy Samurai Soul Piercer, just to make sure he doesn't get gammed. But you're going to see that KG basically is able to go full extension. No Nibiru either on Jesse's side. I don't even know if he was playing it in his tier build, but if we take a look here, Jesse was not playing tier in this particular matchup because he's not on the 60 card version. So you're going to see, again, pretty standard Superheavy Samurai combo. Almost called it Salamangre for a second, but you're going to see kind of where it starts to differ here. So they go into Galaxy Photon Dragon, which seems weird, and this is a very interesting part of the combo. They're going to search for the Galaxy Queen's Light, which says you target one face-up level 7 or higher monster you control. The levels of all other face-up monsters you currently control become the current level of that monster until the end phase, which is very interesting here. So we're going to see them link off again into the driver, and then link off everything into the Ancient Gear, which is interesting. You need 2 Earth Machine monsters, which is why they opted to go into the Duel driver. They needed that for the link material, if you were wondering, because I also wondered, like, why would they do that just to not get anything off of it, but they did need it for the link material. So they get a couple of extenders into their hand, and yeah, just see no interruptions whatsoever here, right? They're going to go into the other scale here, summon out, and then go into an Auroradon extension here, which is going to give them a couple of tokens, and then they're going to be able to tribute and special summon out this very unique card, Mecha Phantom Beast Raiten. Okay, so this card is very, very interesting. You can discard 1 card, special summon 1 Mecha Phantom Beast token, okay, and then it can't be used for anything other than, you know, this stuff. That's fine. This card's level is increased by the total level of all the Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control, which is very interesting. Keep note of that effect, okay? You're going to see them link off into Dark Strike Fighter. What is this card? Super rare, level 7 synchro and older card. During your main phase 1, you contribute 1 monster to inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attributed monster's level on the field times 200. And you can only use this effect once per turn. So very interesting, soft once per turn there. They're going to discard, bring out another token off of the Mecha Phantom Beast effect, and then bring out yet another token. So now it's level 13. Then they're going to use the Galaxy Queen's Light, targeting that Mecha Phantom Beast, which is level 13. And you're going to see that everything becomes level 13 on the field. And then this card also gets triggered because its level becomes whatever all the tokens are. So it's level 43, which is wild. And if you haven't already guessed it, this card will now tribute the Mecha Phantom Beast to inflict 4,300 times 200 damage to Jesse Kotton, leading to 8,600 damage, I believe, and OTKs Jesse before he's even able to play 1 card or even have a turn for himself. Now for game number 2, this will be by far the most iconic and historic game in Master Duel's history so far as of September 2024. We may get something more legendary later on, but in the Snake Eye, Fire King, Yubel format, and I guess you could throw tier elements in there, this game by far, from the same set as game 1, is going to go down, I think, as the best game ever witnessed in Master Duel. This happening at the World Championship is just adds, you know, icing on the cake. It is absolutely insane. So we got another Jesse Kotton matchup here. He loses the coin toss once again, has to go second. His opponent here reveals Snake Eye likely the Fire King variant. Starts off with a normal summon Poplar, goes into a Linkuriboh, but off the Poplar they grab the original Sinful. Spell and Traps on the Poplar, then original Sinful it away into Ash. Now they're going to be able to cook full Snake Eye combo. Jesse on this side, no Ash Blossom for that original Sinful, no Max D to slow the opponent down. They're going to go ahead and then activate the Wanted Seeker, unfortunately. Then they're going to banish, put back the original to get a free draw. Then they're going to activate Sanctuary and then send in order to get the Flameburge, no Oak in sight. And then off of the Diablo Star summoning, they're going to reset the original Sinful that was put back with the Wanted Seeker. So the opponent activating the Sanctuary means that they probably have the field spell in hand. They're going to then go ahead and link off into the Masquerena. Flameburge will trigger, bringing back El Poplar and Snake Eye Ash. Then they're going to link off into Promethean Princess to bring back that Flameburge, link off into an Amblo Whale, and then they're going to activate the Fire King Island to pop Amblo and get the Fire King Garunix. Amblo Whale will trigger to reborn the Masquerena, and then off of that destruction, they're going to also be able to get the Garunix on field and pop a Kirin. So again, cooking full combo with Snake Eye Fire King here. What on earth is Jesse going to do to stop this with no interruptions? They're going to get back the Ponix, link off into Sunlight Wolf, bring out the Linkuriboh, and will they go for the Heat Soul extra draws here after recurring the Kirin to hand from the Sunlight Wolf? No, they're going to go straight into a 3 material Appaloosa. So triple Monster Negate, the Flameburge will Spell and Trap Zone the Amblo Whale for special summoning during Jesse's turn, and then they have 2 set cards as well, and then that passes over to Jesse. What could he possibly do? The opponent has a Kirin and an Unknown in hand, triple Monster Negate, Flameburge follow up, Amblo Whale coming to the field, being popped, recurring the Masquerena that way, right, because they have the Kirin. There's just so many layers of interruption here with the Garunix in the graveyard as well, still, like, and Promethean Princess. Like, what on earth could Jesse possibly do to win this? Let's find out. He's going to start off with a King Sarcophagus. The opponent is going to chain the Kirin to that and then activate Flameburge to bring up the Amblo Whale from the Spell and Trap Zone. Jesse chains the Forbidden Droplet, clutch Droplet once again, sending the Tribute Karma, which is huge there, and the Walls of the Imperial Tomb, since Jesse already has the King Sark, of course. So he's going to negate Appaloosa, which turns that triple Monster Negate into 0 negates and stops the Flameburge from bringing up the Amblo Whale into the Monster Zone. The Kirin will still pop the Flameburge, though, summon to the field, and the Garunix and Flameburge does trigger. Jesse lets this all resolve. Does he have an interruption? These two get special summon in the Ash and the Poplar. No searches off of them, so no targets, right? I guess they only play the original Sinful, which we know is set here, and the Snake Eye Ash can't search another Poplar or an Oak or anything else, I guess, at this point. So the Garunix hits the field, pops the Kirin, and the Kirin is going to attempt to activate, and that's where Jesse saves his interruption called by to banish the Kirin and negate it. The final card in hand is a Rhino Heart. It does resolve, so no Ash Blossom. This is still an unknown, I believe, because we knew the Kirin. The Havness is going to resolve. Oh, and the opponent's final card, of course, is a Maxi. Can you explain to me how any other player is possibly playing through a full Snake Eye Fire King end board, plus backed up by a Maxi? We all hate it in Master Duel when it happens to us, but now Jesse has no chance except for trying to push through this field because he cannot pass back to his opponent. He'll get OTK'd. So he has to play into this Maxi. The unknown card is revealed to be a Snake Eye, a Fire King Skyburn, no Snake Eye there. And that's going to prevent Jesse from activating the Kit Kalos. He's already sent the Tearlament Kashtira and milled 2 and a Rhino and a Maxi. Okay, nothing to activate off of that, but he's going to prevent Jesse from getting any other additional follow-up with the Kit Kalos, settling for the mill 5 on the destruction of Kit, which does get a Sulik, and then he's going to also trigger that Tribute Karma now. Tribute Karma grabs the Perla Rhino, and he grabs his Tearlament Sharon off of the Sulik. Perla Rhino will search out another Tearlament Sharon, which will now be special summoned, pitching the other Sharon in order to trigger, mill first, and then trigger a fusion. They're going to go into Kaleido Heart, giving the opponent draws all along the way. The Kaleido Heart's going to spin back the original Sinful, and the field spell is going to pop the Kaleido Heart. The opponent here is going to activate the Promethean Princess now, targeting their Snake Eye Ash and the Tearlament Sharon, but also tributing the Snake Eye Ash for the Linkuriboh, since once the Promethean Princess hits the field, they can't bring the Dark Linkuriboh to the field any longer. So the opponent here unknowingly has set them up for set themselves up for disaster. Jesse is always thinking 2 steps ahead, and what makes him a GOAT of the game. So the Rhino Heart will trigger, which will allow Jesse to send the Meta Noise in order to get back the Tail Limits Cached Hero, again giving the opponent draws in the process. Keep in mind that there has been no Ash Blossom activated on the opponent's side, so that's one disruption that they probably have a chance of drawing into to slow Jesse down. Likely not on Nibiru, as it's not a shared card. They're likely sharing, most teams, Maxi, Ash Blossom, and the Infinite Impermanence. Jesse's Mill grabs him a Dot Scaper, so that's okay. He's going to activate the Strutto as well, bringing it to the field as a level 6 since it targeted the Dot Scaper, which is a level 1. Link off the Dot Scaper into a Linkaribo, double link into the Dark Charmer using the Tail Limits Cached Hero, grab back the opponent's Masquerena, and at this point you've got to assume the opponent has an Ash Blossom, right? But let's see what the Jesse has in his graveyard. Nothing of any significance except for maybe this card destruction. The opponent's on 18 cards and they got 10 cards in hand, 18 cards left in deck. The Curious hits the field, which is going to allow the opponent to dump. They don't Ash Blossom if they have it here because, you know, Curious's second ability is if he ends up being destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card or leaves the field because of an opponent's card, he can target any card in the graveyard and bring it to his hand. So the Curious is then going to go ahead and activate for a Mill 3 as well, since a card was sent to the graveyard. And Jesse will also chain the Rainbow Bridge that I believe he just sent off of that Curious as well. Alright, so he searches out the Walls again and the Emerald Tortoise, and then mills 3. Nothing of significance there in the Jet Synchron, not going to really bother to summon that. The 2 cards he brings to hand off of the Rainbow Bridge is going to get pitched for the King Sark in order to dump the Horus cards, which are then going to be special summoned to the field. So again, no ashing, because I believe you can ash the effect to send, right? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can. So the opponent opting not to do it. Probably because at this point they realize, well, if they crash Curious now and get back that card destruction, I lose the game. So I have to wait for them to get the card destruction back and negate the card destruction with the Ash Blossom, right? They can't negate anything else really. So they're going to go ahead and activate this Zombie Vampire. And Jesse kind of gets a little lucky here in getting a Side Frame Gear Gamma off of that mill from the opponent. This is a level 2 tuner. So with Jesse's final Horus card in the I'm Seti, he's going to be able to bring that level 8 back to the field and then synchro off into the Omni Negate Baron de Fleur. What a clutch mill, because now this gives Jesse insulation from the final hand trap in the Ash Blossom that the opponent has to have in their hand at this point. With 7 cards left in the deck, 17 cards in the hand, Jesse now goes to the battle phase, crashes the Curious in the damage step. They're going to be able to trigger Curious to get back the card destruction, move into main phase 2. There is no way for the opponent to stop this card destruction because that Ash Blossom that we know has to be coming will now be negated by the Baron de Fleur. And just like that, an amazing sequence of events for Jesse Kotton to break a full power Snake Eyes Fire King board, play through a Maxi, find his win condition, and take the victory in what I think is the most iconic match we have ever seen in Master Duel's history. Let's go on to the final game. And this final matchup just goes to show you how important preparation is for a big event like this, because Josh goes into this match knowing that his opponent is on Yubel most likely. Now they did win the coin flip, so that's a huge benefit, but unlike the Snake Eye Fire King that they were on pretty much the whole day, they end up setting 5 and passing, which is a good indication that they're on Labyrinth. Again, knowing that the opponent's on Yubel, they're likely not playing too much, if any, back row removal. We're going to see what this Labyrinth deck can do against Yubel. So they're going to go off with the standard combo, getting the Dark Beckoning Beast into the Chaos Summoning Beast, which allows them to go into the Unchained engine. They do have the extension with the Samsara D Lotus going into Spirit of Yubel, and yeah, just going to be able to set up a full Yubel field. Nightmare Pain, Phantom of Yubel, the Heavy Storm Duster, an amazing tech option for this matchup. Again, not something you would see in a Labyrinth deck, but when you're tailor making something to counter one of the meta decks of the format in Yubel, Heavy Storm Duster being able to clear out that opening of the Spirit Gates and the Nightmare Pain is absolutely huge here. So the opponent is going to continue to extend here with the Unchained Shoal of Shavara, going into the Anguish, bringing out a Yubel as well, setting up the trap. I forget which one that is. The one that popped, there's Escape of the Unchained, so not the Chamber, which is the recursion. They're going to go into Little Knight in order to try to clear some of this back row. And look at this really interesting play that Josh makes. They're going to go ahead and target this middle card here. Josh changed the Daruma, knowing full well that the opponent is going to chain the Little Knight, because if they don't, they just lose their Little Knight and their Anguish. But the opponent's like, well, chain Little Knight, banish the Anguish, banish the Little Knight, they come back during the end phase. No, Josh plays it perfectly here. While the opponent does end up chaining the Little Knight on Chain Link 3, Josh is going to then activate the card that was targeted with the SP Little Knight, which is the Ice Dragon Prison, recurring the Unchained Lord of Yama in order to banish it, preventing the graveyard effect of being able to banish for the activation, and it takes out the Soul of Anguish and the Yama at the same time, which now means the SP Little Knight cannot banish 2 cards, so therefore it gets sent to the graveyard, and that's another interruption gone. The Phantom gets flipped face down. Josh has 2 cards left, which isn't great. The opponent goes into, is that their 3rd Phantom of Yubel? Yes, it is, because one's flipped face down, one's in the graveyard, and one is now on the field. They set a 2nd card and pass turn. Josh ends the turn with a Dogmatica Punishment. Again, a great option against Yubel because you can send pretty much anything. And what does Josh send? A Garua for the draw. So they're going to be able to draw 1 off that and then draw for turn. They have to deal with this face down Phantom of Yubel, which cannot be destroyed by battle. They're just going to end up setting 2 more and passing the turn here. So the opponent's going to draw a card and flip up that Phantom of Yubel. Just simply set another card and pass. Josh has yet another Dogmatica Punishment to send yet another Garua for another draw, which means they're going to draw 2, 1 for the Garua, 1 for their turn here. Can they finally draw into some engine to get the game plan started? Upstart Goblin, again, very odd choice here, but you know, again, amazing deck building skills and teching for the meta. The opponent normal summons the Samsara D Lotus. Josh activates the Welcome Labyrinth. The opponent activates Max C. And yeah, the opponent, Josh is going to activate Ice Dragon Prison to play around that Max C for the extra draw, bringing out the Shavara and banishing the D Lotus and the Shavara. Again, taking another key part of the engine out. You know, the Yama recursion if they play a 2nd Yama here, because he banished the first one off of the first Ice Dragon Prison, and getting rid of the Samsara D Lotus in the process. Gives the opponent a draw 1 off of the Lady special summon, but that's fine. Can any of these 3 face down cards interrupt the Lady? Probably not, right? If there's a Super Poly or something down here, it's not activatable right now, but any other trap that's activated would still trigger the Lady to set from the deck. Imperm cannot target it because there's still a set card on Josh's field, so the trap trick resolves. Josh is able to set a big welcome off of the Lady, and off Trap Trick, they're going to go ahead and banish. Is that another Heavy Storm Duster? Are they on 3 Heavy Storm Dusters? That is absolutely wild here. The Heavy Storm Duster absolutely going to put in some work. Let's see, Josh draws for turn. He's going to activate the Heavy Storm Duster. The opponent is going to end up chaining the set callback to prevent the Lady from setting a trap from the deck here. And they're going to banish a Garua, a card of no consequence whatsoever for Josh at this point, since he's gone through 2 already. And sure enough, in that column was the Imperm, which could not be activated because the Lady is protected from being targeted with the set cards. Josh is going to then go ahead and activate Big Welcome, hopefully to set a card off Lady, but the opponent has another Max C. That is a 2nd Max C, and you know, if you watch my channel where I played Labyrinth, I've talked about this before. One of the reasons why I loved Flow Wonderies and Labyrinth is because they play around Max C so well. And Josh is only going to give that opponent just a draw 1 and still pop a card from hand, which is going to end up being the 3rd Max C that the opponent draws here. And then they're not going to re-special summon Lady because there's no reason to give the opponent the extra draw. They just reset the Heavy Storm Duster with the Lovely and pass turn with that Lady in hand. The opponent goes to the end phase. And Josh is going to trigger the Welcome, knowing that there's no more Maxi to worry about, and trigger the Lady off of that activation here. Special summon another Lady from the deck, activate the Heavy Storm Duster, set a trap from the deck from that Heavy Storm Duster being activated, clearing out what was known in the Escape of the Unchained. Not that the opponent really has anything else to go into. I mean, they could link into another Yama, but no more Shavara as a 1-of in the deck. Josh has 8,900 points of damage on board. He needs 100 more damage. He resets with Lady, not fearing an evenly match whatsoever, and then activates the Big Welcome for game here, bringing out the 3rd Lady. So a very trap-heavy build, no Arianas, most likely, no furniture, just straight traps and straight big monsters in Lady and Lovely, taking out Yubel for the win. That's going to wrap up this video. If you made it this far, do you think my selections were biased? I did check out some of the other like Asia versus Asia matchups. In my opinion, these ones were still more iconic and really displayed the skill that led to the Snipe Hunters and Jesse Kotten's Team 7, or I should say Ryan Yu's Team 7, into the finals Well deserved by Jesse Kotton, Ryan Yu, and Raymond Dye for taking that tournament. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is historical footage at this point for some of the best Master Duel we've seen in, I don't know, one of the more controversial formats with Snake Eye Fire King. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you again for watching. Quantum is out.